Within the fog of ignorance, deceit, and lies, an insidious evil weaves traps for mortal souls. Yet there is a beacon of hope, a bastion of truth and understanding within which dwells the Professor. She gathers together those who would take a stand against evil. These are the Athenaeum Chronicles. Now, outside it is cold, it is the season of winter's cusp, it is a season of mellow fruitfulness. But in here it is warm, and a fire burns merrily in the hearth. The walls are lined with bookshelves and stacked high with little knickknacks or interesting looking tomes. Some of you have been here before, but for some of you this might be your first visit. Tethrin, can you just tell me what you're doing here and how comfortable you feel in this environment?
Yeah, quite comfortable. Been here before. Helped save the cleaner, whose name evades me because it's been quite a while since we played, and her son. And yeah, he's just having a flick through the books.
Yeah, Tris and Henry are ever so grateful for your services, as is the Professor herself, who is at the far end of the Athenaeum, sitting behind the desk, studying a textbook quite closely. Now, the Professor herself has short, bobbed hair, and her glasses are right on the end of her nose as she's intently reading. But she's wearing a tweed jacket which has leather patches on the elbows. She's quite engrossed in her book. But Justin, what's your character doing? Would you like to describe what the others see when they look at you and what you're doing?
So Justin is 23 years old, 6 foot tall, sort of a slight build. He has these big flowing green robes. So his spell book strapped on one side. He carries around the blue orb, and he's quite he's a bit eccentric in that it appears that he's talking to himself constantly, but he's not. He's moving in and out of his robes, and sometimes onto his hand is a red squirrel. So he talks as if he's having this conversation with himself, but he's talking to the squirrel.
Awesome. And how big's this squirrel? Does the squirrel make an appearance, or is it a little bit shy?
Little Red, she pops out occasionally, but she's as far as Justin's aware, she's just a red squirrel. They sort of became attached a few months ago when he used to sort of wander off into the woods, and she's sort of accompanied him as a pet ever since.
Excellent. And Agalor, what's your character doing here, and what does Agalor look like? And you're muted.
Fairly sort of average build elf, but I'm in late middle age. Black hair and beard, but sort of greying. I'm fairly tropish in appearance. Have standard wizard's gown on and hats with a dark blue with the embroidered moon and stars and so on. I'm a bit old school in my manners. I have a stack of books out at the desk that I'm engrossed in. The broad subjects appear to be around teleportation and portals and things. Sort of engrossed in there, making notes as part of my research.
I'm very pleased that you've been able to make yourself at home here, Egil. And some people find the system here for how I keep my books a little bit obscure. But I'm glad you've been able to master it so quickly. I see you've got some of the grey books there, and a yellow one as well. Most fantastic. And she stands up and says that now. I'm glad that you've all been able to join me here today, and I'd like to introduce the fourth member of the party, who is Damien. Damien Sinclair. He is a warrior of great renown. I'm afraid he'll be joining us in a few moments, but before that, I would like to broadly outline the difficulties that facing Port Soldier. Now, as you know, it was not many months ago that it faced an orc invasion and defeated it quite well, with quite a lot of bloodshed, to be honest, on all sides. There's quite a lot of ill feeling towards the orcs at this point. At this moment, there's a slight skewing. I'd like you all to make a perception roll for me, please. Could you make a perception roll for me, please, Damien?
I'm working on it.
Okay, cool. I wasn't quite sure when you if you got back in time to hear about the perception check. Did anybody get over 16? I could check that on the log, of course.
Nope.
No. So okay, awesome. So yeah, so there's a general scurrying and
Dang it! I only got
there you go. That would have been it. But never mind. And a little bit of commotion going on in the corner. But quickly, the professor draws your attention back to what she's saying. Now, Sir Damien, could you please explain the events that took place? Try and summarise briefly what occurred on the deck of the Golden Dawn just a couple of weeks ago. And would you mind explaining what Damien looks like to the other people in the party?
Damien is a human noble. He dresses just a little bit better than your average adventurer. He's about 6 feet tall. He's got dark hair and green eyes.
Oh, and Sir Damien,
And he fights his fighting style.
And Sir Damien, on board the deck of the Golden Dawn, there was a rather serious incident involving a magical ring. Could you just explain what happened?
Yes, there was this ring on the deck that one of the sailors had. He'd been given. I think he was kind of just used. But anyway, there was this ring, and somehow it had a portal connected to it. I'm guessing the underworld. The ship was flooding with skeletons and other manners of undead. If it weren't for the quick thinking of my dwarven friend Ironforge, we probably would have been overrun. But with his quick thinking, he managed to pick up the ring and throw it overboard quite far.
Oh, and thank you for that explanation.
Cutting off between our world and theirs.
Well, the thing is that I believe that quite a few of the skeletons and potentially the portal itself still actually exist. In fact, some of the fisher folk of Port Soldier have been reporting that their nets have been empty and cut by a sharp blade. I believe that the skeletons, by all accounts, may be actually heading towards Port Soldier itself. It was Godric, the leader of the Temple of Thorm in Port Soldier, who has actually asked if we can provide some assistance to the beleaguered citizens there. It's an awful task, but I do believe that there may be a way to disarm the portal or make sure that the portal is destroyed, and that would be by throwing the ring into the portal itself, causing it to collapse in on itself. So a fairly straightforward task. Find the ring and place the ring into the portal. Has anybody got any questions?
I think it's all very straightforward. I've dabbled in portals myself, it's all very elementary. There's going to be no problem here. In fact, it's felt rather a bit of a trifle, really, going out there. It's almost a waste of my time.
Oh, yes, of course I would make sure that it wasn't a waste of your time and that you would be compensated appropriately for the efforts that you put in. I do believe that you're a seeker of knowledge, Agelor, and that perhaps you would appreciate access to some of the spells that I've accumulated over the years.
That sounds most amicable arrangement, my dear lady.
Good, good. I'm glad about that. Now the thing is that Tedrin, you have performed great services for us before, but I should. Well, there's something I should say. Let he who hunts monsters beware, Tedrin.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And just then, there's something else that I would like you to do for me, if you wouldn't mind, while you're in Port Soldier, is to look in on a little friend of mine. Her name's Alice.
Do you have any message for me to pass to Alice?
Oh no, I'd just like you to check in on her and make sure she's okay. Just say the professor is asking after her. That would be fantastic. She's only quite a young lady.
And where in Port Soldier will I find Alice?
Oh, how goodness me! You see, that's the kind of information that I'm often horrendous at passing on. It's number 8 Spice Street.
Number 8 Spice Street. I shall pass on your regards.
Oh yes, oh thank goodness. It's just off the main square, not too far from the last drop, which is the tavern in Port Soldier, where you will be able to meet with Godric, and perhaps he'll be able to give you any further information you might require.
So 8 Spice Street, Alice, by the last drop, and Godric.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, I've arranged a carriage to take you from Threshold to Port Soldier forthwith. But if none of you have any further questions, then I beg you to make haste and go to the aid of these poor citizens.
No, I think it all sounds fine. Yes. Let's be back. Well, by the way, could you do some research into this character? Pass her a badly handwritten business card that appears to say the Shadow, Relics and Rarities reallocations on it. I don't know, this one of my experiments was disrupted, and all that was left behind was this card. If you ever come across someone, you let me know.
Oh, if I ever come across somebody who might know anything about this, I'm sure that we'll be able to come to some kind of amicable arrangement. The Shadow, goodness me, this is an interesting card. And she pops it away. And outside you hear the rattling of a carriage that has been brought up to the front of the Athenaeum and is ready to take you to Port Soldier itself. Is there anything you'd like to do before you leave this little town of Threshold? No. Okay.
No, I think so.
Fantastic. So it is that after a rather shaky ride along a reasonably well-kept road, you find yourself entering the busy Port Soldier itself, and it's not long before you find yourselves within the tavern that's in Port Soldier, and it's known as the Last Drop. It overlooks a gallows which might give rise to its name. Now, this particular tavern is reasonably well kept. It seems to be in good repair despite any recent battles. There are booths in which people can sit to the left and to the right. There is someone who surely must be Godric, who has a shield and a hammer by his side. He is drinking by himself and looks up expectantly as you enter this particular tavern. It seems that he has been expecting you. At the far end of the tavern is a fairly crude bar table on which are drinks and a bartender behind it. The bartender is a middle-aged and quite portly chap. There's a fish bowl on the counter itself, but no fish in it.
Oh, that journey was rather uncomfortable. I'm rather used to something, well, not really used to travelling around like this. I'm going to get a drink, I think. Don't mind if I do.
No. Let me get that. Barman, drinks all around. And Godric waves officiously over to the barman. And I'd like you all to make another perception check as the barman takes your orders from. Oh, awesome. It's nice. Yeah, okay. Fortunately, I've got them in the on the roll sheet as well. So that's gone very well. So Damien, in fact, it's you that hears the bartender complain under his breath as he leaves. Something about the clergy never paying for paying their tabs, and but nonetheless, he brings you over the drinks you ordered, and Godric looks well. He's a gentleman in his late 40s, but he's looking like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's human, and his forehead is deeply creased with lines of worry. And he says to you, I am glad that the Professor has sent the likes of you here, for it is certainly evil magics that we are facing here. It is a dark time for Port Soldier. I must warn you that we face the dead themselves. It is only this morning that a fisherman pulled up his nets, and within it was a skeletal warrior who made to attack the fisherman immediately, and it was only his crewmates that were able to beat this particular skeleton off. They are getting closer all the time. Why they are coming here to Port Soldier, I have no idea, but I do believe that the Professor has given you some idea as to how these creatures might be defeated. Sorry, Damien, I couldn't quite hear you there for a second.
I think my mic was just picking up.
Oh, I see. You
noise.
You weren't saying anything, Damien. Yes, I'm sorry about that. It's these fine folk of Port Soldier are doing their best to rebuild, and yet they are facing all sorts of difficulties. The bureaucracy here is horrendous, but it's not just that. It's the threat of. Well, I have to say that there's also been sightings of a dark frigate on the horizon that's potentially disrupting supplies as well. But let us focus on the difficulties that we have at the moment, and that is that it appears that a group of skeletal warriors are likely to invade at any moment.
Do we know where they're coming from at the moment? Where the location of this portal is?
I imagine it is somewhere out to sea. I'm told that Sir Damien here has further information as to why that might be and as to where it might be.
Oh, I kind of shift around a little bit uncomfortably, and yes, it's most likely they are coming from the deep, somewhere close to this oil rig out there, a few miles off the coast.
I have a ship chartered. It was difficult to get hold of. Maybe not the quality that you're used to. Certainly not as good as the Golden Dawn. But that appears to have headed off on some other mission. The Professor said it was very important that it was engaged on other work. But but nonetheless, I have found a less worthy ship that could perhaps assist you in this. But as I see it, there are three main tasks, and to be carried out in no particular order. But the first is to destroy this portal. The second to get rid of these skeletal warriors, and the final part of the conundrum, if you're able to, is to discover why on earth the skeletons would be making their way here in the first place.
So we're not going to have to get wet to resolve this, are we?
Oh, I would certainly hope not. That would be that would be most unfortunate. I'm not sure how that would work out. Now, I thought that perhaps some kind of magical assistance may help, and I have a scroll of detect magic here for you. If you're going to locate this portal and destroy it, this might assist you. And he places it on the table in front of you all.
Well, I know how to detect magic. I have no need of such trifling scrolls.
Well, I'm at the start of my magical journey, so if you don't want it, I would certainly place it within my possessions.
Yeah, so actually extra scrolls, if these are spells that you don't know as a wizard, it is fantastically useful to be able to get your hands on books and scrolls that have spells you don't know on them, because that way you're able to copy them into your own spell book when you have the opportunity. Excellent. So I'm glad I've been able to be of some assistance. If there is anything further that I can do for you, please do not hesitate to contact me. Mainly I'll be at the Temple of Thorm. We are struggling to get the rebuilding work done, but it certainly requires a lot of organisation. Is there anything else I can do before I leave?
I could do with some directions to Spice Street. I believe it's very close.
Oh yes, you can't fail to miss it really. If you come out of here and turn left, and then take the first left off the main square, and that is Spice Street. It's quite an exclusive road, or at least it was. Sadly, its aromas drew the attention of several trolls and other large creatures with the Orc invasion. I mean, and quite a lot of the properties there were absolutely wrecked. It is, however, because of the affluence of the owners of this street, it is being rebuilt reasonably quickly.
Thank you for your assistance.
Yeah, no problem at all. And he stands up and leaves as you, as the four of you are nursing your tankards of the ale that they seem to serve here.
I must say, ale's not really my thing. Pushed away from. Shall we get on with this? I suppose I have my research to get back to.
Well, I would very much need to take a trip to Spice Street to pass on the message from the professor. I believe that I may learn something from this.
Well, as you stand up to leave, there is a scream from the back of the tavern, and there's a sudden rushing as the occupants of the tavern push their way past you. You're not actually able to make your way out of the booth that you're in because of the sudden rush of people through the tavern itself, and so you find yourself in this scenario. Now that's an interesting look everybody's got going on there. That wasn't quite what I was expecting to happen. But okay, all good. So you should have been invited to join the immersive map mode, and as such should be able to now move yourself around that map. Yeah, excellent. So what I'd like you to do is to place yourself in the booth on the bottom left-hand corner of the map. If anybody's having trouble moving their characters, then please let me know. Having tested this earlier, it turns out that it's a good idea to keep your miniature mode on as opposed to anything else, and that's because although you can continue to drag yourself around, you suddenly become invisible. So if I just move Tedwin into this right here, and you can change your facing by using the control key and the mouse wheel. So sorry Tedwin, I've just moved you entirely just to see if I can. I'm going to bring Agalor in as well and see what happens when you're all tied together. And Jestan, that's it. So now there's been the great flood of people. So from now on, I'd like you to be able to move your own characters if that's possible.
Yeah, sorry, Richard. How is? I'm not seeing how you move yourself.
Okay, so you might find yourself. There's a bit of a crush of people now down here because I've dragged you all together. But if I can find Jestan, which I can't, let me bring this out. Jestan, right? So to move yourself, you left click and hold the left mouse button down on your person, which should have and then you can just drag yourself to where you need to be. Really.
Okay.
So let's have a little bit of fun moving yourself around if you can. Yeah. Excellent, good stuff. So can you see yourself on the map, Chris?
No, I've got the map open, but I can't find myself. Is that me?
Okay, I'm going to bring you out into the middle of the room. So, now the key thing here is to be using ARealm to move yourself around on, because you can't move yourself around on the Google Meet screen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've got ARealm open.
Yeah, so if ARealm's open and you can see the map on ARealm,
yeah,
then you should be able to see yourself, and you're currently about underneath the chandelier in the centre of the room.
Right, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, got me, yeah.
Yeah, you've got you. So if you can move yourselves back to the bottom left-hand part of the tavern.
So this chap doesn't look too friendly.
No, he doesn't, does he? What's he doing there?
Back away, back away, run away, run away.
Just a tactical withdrawal.
Yes. Tactical drink.
Yeah, tactical drinking, okay. Fantastic. And so what I'd like you all to do now is to roll for initiative, and I'd ideally like you to roll for initiative by going into your stats bar and rolling there. Excellent. So I've got so Agalor, you managed to get a 3, Tethrin a 10, and Damien also a 10. Jestan, so it's Chris, your stat bar. Sorry, across the top of your ARealm screen. I think it's number 2. Is it stats?
This little heart icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So heart icon. Sorry, what we rolling?
If you left click on the initiative box, it should automatically roll it for you and add any modifiers. Awesome. Yeah, great. So Justin, you actually get to act first, move and act first. So what you can see actually after everyone has pressed by you and vacated the tavern is that overlooking this particular part of the tavern is a mezzanine type level with 2 skeletal warriors wielding swords at the top of the stairs there. Now one of the things that you might want to do is to measure a distance, and you can do that by pressing the letter Q. Ooh. And then just dragging your mouse. So if you that's just if anybody wants to do any measurements and work out where you are. Damien, you're in quite an interesting location there. You seem to have a very commanding view in your particular location.
Yeah, it seems to if you're accidentally on any of the dividing walls, you end up on the on the very top of the map. Yeah.
Let's try and bring you back into the tavern. So, Chris, what would you like to do, Justin?
So how far away are these two skeleton warriors?
So that's one of the things we can do is that if you press Q on the point where you want to measure from, and you can then use the pointer to see that one's 45 feet away and the other is 40 feet away.
Okay, so Justin's going to alert the rest of the party that we've got two skeleton warriors, and is going to. Hang on, then. Right, skeleton warriors. So they're undead.
Yes.
So things like cold damage isn't going to do anything to them, is it?
Well, you can try it and find out.
Oh, okay. Cast Ray of Frost.
Ray of Frost it is. And do you want to just explain how Ray of Frost works?
Yeah, so it's a cantrip, 60 feet, and to cast it, it's verbal and movements. And as I sort of say the words and move my hands and cast my hands towards them, you get a frigid beam of white blue light streaks towards the target, and on a hit, it would take 1d8 of cold damage.
Yeah, cool. So you want to make an attack roll using your magical attack modifier.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, there's no shortcut way of doing that. So I just used your d20, and you're going to add your intelligence modifier and your proficiency modifier.
Right, 11 plus proficiency 12, 13 plus intelligence is 5, 6, 7, 18.
18, right, so an 18 hits this skeleton that is on the top of the stairs.
I'm reading the wrong one now. Ray of Frost. 1d8 of cold damage. 1d8, here we go. And that is a 7.
Awesome. So 7 points of damage to that particular skeleton. Nice. So it's blasted by this ray of freezing cold ice, and you see its bones seem to become more brittle, and in fact, as it starts to move, you see that part of its rib cage actually snaps off. Awesome. Did you want to move at all?
Yes, Justin would like to move back as far away from them as possible.
Okay, well, feel free to manoeuvre yourself on the actual map itself, and we'll move to Damien. You're next up in order.
You say it's about how far is the one that got blasted with ice?
The one that got blasted with ice is just over 40 feet away.
I think I'm going to try and I'm going to move a little closer. That way, I'm between the skeletons and the wizards.
Yeah. Do you want to move yourself on the map?
That ought to be the spot.
Yeah, that's fine. And do you want to make a ranged attack then? Are you using a crossbow or something?
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna. I have a longbow.
A longbow, yes, of course.
I'm gonna fire along the way.
Ooh, and
What I get?
and you shoot with this arrow just seems to fly through the bones of the skeleton and embed itself in the far wall, and so we move on to it's going to be Tetherin's turn. And you're muted.
I can't see where the skeletons are.
Ah, you can't see where the skeletons are. Have you got ARealm up? Can you see? Can you move the map around on ARealm? Or are you relying on the
No, I'm struggling to keep both up at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
But
so don't worry too much about that. I can move you around. So if you concentrate then on the Google Meet screen, and I'll show where the skeletons are that you can see. So you can see these two that I'm going to now use a ping function on, which is Alt and left click. Of course it is.
I can resize this ARealm window.
So that's where the two skeletons are that you can see, and you are currently back here.
Okay. Yeah, it won't let me do like a half and half screen like what I do with Roll20 to be able to see
No, that
the
is
screen
one
and
of
have it open at the same time.
I struggle as well with that, but that's just something that doesn't happen on ARealm at the moment.
Cool. I guess I'll do Firebolt. I'm still not 100% sure what I'm looking at, but I'll cast Firebolt.
Yeah, okay, so there's a skeleton on so using Theatre of the Mind then if we need to, there's a skeleton on top of the mezzanine level, and it's just to the right of my face if we look at the Google Meet screen, and you're almost directly below the chandelier in the middle. So yes, feel free to shoot your firebolt.
Cool. I've got +5 for spell attack, so
Yeah.
roll a d20, which I can't see because I'm looking at the wrong screen
So
now.
I've got it 14 as a hit,
Okay.
solid hit with the firebolt, and does
That's a d10, I think.
yes.
Yeah, d10. Sorry, I'm battling using different windows.
That's okay. That's 4 points of damage, and with the frost damage that it's already taken, the sudden change of extreme cold to extreme heat causes the skeleton to shatter and collapse. But it appears to have a mate on the top of the on top deck who is going to quite happily move itself. And just charge down into close quarters with Damien Sinclair. Oh, I can't do that. So I have temperate. There we go. And also, you hear a crashing noise from the back of the tavern, and see that there are several more skeletal warriors who are making their way towards the main part of the tavern. Okay, and we're now at Aguilar's turn to act.
One thing I was struggling to do is get that Q button function to work for measuring distance. Do you press Q first, or do you hold it?
So, yeah, wherever my mouse is, I just press Q wherever the mouse is, it seems to happen. Does that not work for you? It might not be a thing on your Mac.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't seem to do anything.
So it's just a Dungeon Master feature. So if you need me to measure something, then that's fine.
Okay.
Because we're looking at the yeah. So we're looking that Damien's about 25 feet away, and the top of the mezzanine's about 50 feet away at most.
Well, I think it'd be prudent to move over here and cast another firebolt at this chap who's having a go at Damien.
Yeah, of course.
Action spells.
Wait, there's somebody attached me?
No, it hasn't attacked you. It had to use its full movement to get into range of you. But as it sort of sprinted its way down the stairs to get to you, your party member Eglor's just hit it fairly solidly with a firebolt, and 5 points of damage.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So it's quite badly hurt. And Justin, it's your action.
Okay, yeah, I'm struggling to use this this Q distance thing as well. But are they
Yeah,
are they all still they still all within 60 feet? Are they?
Yes. Yeah, they're all within 60 feet.
Okay, so Ray of Frost as a cantrip. I'll use that again to target another one.
Oh, the one that's already been hit by a firebolt. This alternate freezing and burning seems to be a good strategy against the skeletons.
Yeah.
You did notice that it didn't seem to be. It seemed to get damaged as you would expect a creature to be damaged by a ray of frost. It doesn't seem to be invulnerable to your rays of frost at all.
It doesn't seem to be invulnerable.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, we'll hit it again then. So stats and
If you just roll the d20 and
yeah. Why is that not working?
oh, there we go. It's very solid hit, and then for damage.
Oh, my screen come backwards again. Oh, right. Okay. And the Ray of Frost, 1d8, d8. And that's, come on, why is that not working?
Oh, 8, yes. And yet again, the freeze and fire combination seems to be an extremely effective way of actually disposing of these. And although you were slightly concerned then about this skeleton that has rushed into combat with you, your compatriot wizards have dealt with it quite efficiently. And it is indeed your turn, I believe. It is, yeah, Damien.
Alright. So, did my arrow miss because it's bone, so it just went right through it?
Yeah, effectively, it was just a slightly too. You thought you were going to hit it, and you'd aimed for the central mass of the warriors you've always been taught. But in this particular instance, it just seemed to pass through the skeleton. You don't feel it's invulnerable to your attacks. You just feel that perhaps you should change your aim slightly.
All right. I'm going to aim another shot with the longbow. This time I'm going to aim for the skull.
Yeah, okay.
Not much for it to pass completely through there.
No, exactly. but perhaps because you're trying for a very specific target, the skeleton is able to actually move its head out of the way entirely in this instance and dodge that arrow. You can also move in your turn if you want to.
Right. I guess I'm going to move a bit closer. That way I can get in range with the sword.
Yeah, sure. That should be no problem at all. If you'd like to move yourself to where you want to be, you can certainly get. You can start to climb.
Is this
the
him up here at the top of the stairs?
Yeah. If you want to, you can't pass through the skeleton, but you can certainly head up the stairs.
Right there. That work?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and tethering. What would you like to do?
I'll follow suit and try and head up the stairs as well. Can you show me what 30 feet would look like, please?
Yeah, sure. It's to the landing, actually. The first floor the first part of the landing. The stairs, as you can see, take a bit of a dog leg. Would you like me to move you so you don't have to make do?
No, I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's great.
Cool, and I will firebolt the one that is at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, the one that's in close combat. Yeah.
+5.
13 just hits. Yeah, so you get the impression that skeleton was about to weave out of the way of the bolt, but accidentally just weaved into it. Instead, it zagged when it should have zigged. Horrendous result for the skeleton. But would you like to roll damage? 5. Nice. But now it is the skeleton warriors' turn themselves, and they seem to be forming a little bit of a queue at the top of the stairs, but they've got an uphill advantage as they're fighting down on Damien, so they're actually going to get a roll with advantage when this one attacks. But is not able to pierce the armour of Damien at all as they swing with the swords. But they've formed some kind of very orderly queue in an attempt to intimidate Damien. But there's no way past. It's quite a narrow gap that Damien's got there. So we go to the bottom of the order, which is Agelor.
I think I shall stride up this way, I think. To the stairs. Have a little pan around so I can see what's going on. So these skeletons up there. I think so throw another 5 volt, I think.
Okay.
Ooh, that'll do.
Awesome. Critical hit. So with the critical hit, we double the dice that we roll for damage.
Right. It's 2 and
10.
a 10. That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. Yes, it should do.
Always a pain, these skeletons. There you are, doing your own arcane business, and then they get in your way as usual. Seem to have a little break from them.
Yeah, so a great. It's definitely worth waiting for that that particular action, and so Jestin.
Get your feet off the table, Justin. Where were you born?
I was born into a very good family, actually.
I should know not to stand at the table. It's a fine establishment. Well, apart from the ale, of course.
Well, always dominate the high ground. My father taught me, being a military officer of some renown. Right.
Well, shouldn't you be up there then?
No, because being the youngest of 4 brothers, I was pretty rubbish at the martial arts. Hence, becoming a wizard.
Nice,
Right.
eh?
Where's right? How many skeletons have we got left? I can't see.
Sorry about that. That's 3 skeletons we've got right at the top of the stairs there.
Okay, is that still within 60 feet?
Yes, it is.
Ray of Frost, please.
Okay. What's that in total? I've got it's 13.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, okay, so that just hits as well.
We need a D8 now, don't we? D8, D8. That's 7, isn't it? Yeah, my screen's backwards. How do I change that again?
Is that jigsaw?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so we move back to Jeston, who is really having quite a interesting time.
Yeah. So I've just cast Ray of Frost again and just
yeah.
hit.
So you cast that. So are you moving at all?
It seems to be going quite well. So I'm going to bravely. Come on, let's go. Just get a bit closer and see what everybody else is up to.
Nice. So Damien.
Yes. Am I in range of anything?
You are. You're in close combat range with a skeleton that's just been hit by a ray of frost.
And that made its bones brittle. Huh?
Yeah. I suspect it'd be a good thing for using your. What weapon have you got exactly? What are you, a sword wielder? I can't remember.
I have a longbow and a long sword.
Okay, yeah, with the long sword then, that might be the way to go.
Oh, you son of a gun!
Oh, yeah, this the skeleton is not impressed by being frozen and moves out of the way of your attempted swipe with this sword. Is there anything else you'd like to do while you're here?
Well, I can't attack again, so.
No, that's okay.
I reckon I'm just going to stay put.
Yeah, stay put and keep the skeleton occupied and off your companions and tethering.
I'm gonna.
Yes. So you're on the first floor behind Damien, and
I'll magic missile.
Magic missile. Awesome. So that can create 3 magical bolts of energy. What do your magic missiles look like?
Just little green blobs.
So are you going to focus them all on one skeleton, or are you going to share these missiles out?
All the same, the one that's been hit by frostbite.
Okay, in that case, magic missiles automatically hit, so it's 3d4 damage, I believe.
I rolled that already. It was a 2, 2, and a 1, so it'll be 3, 3, 2, so 8 damage.
8 damage, and that's sufficient to take that one completely out of action, as it explodes in a shower of shards of bone. And that frees up a bit of space for the next skeleton line to attack, and it uses its sword to attempt to strike Damien, who's forced his way onto the same level at least as the other skeleton. So this skeleton's not attacking downhill, so it just gets a straight attack roll and fails to hit. This skeleton, though, is going to take a athletic attempt. He's fed up of queuing up behind brethren and just getting hit by spells, and is actually going to make an athletic leap onto the chandelier from where he is. So he's going to make a dexterity athletics check just to see if it can grab hold of the chandelier, which it fails to do, and drops to the ground as its action and takes falling damage. And skeletons are particularly vulnerable to the bludgeoning damage, and has actually seriously injured itself attempting this heroic maneuver. But nonetheless, it is still intact, even though its ankle is looking a little bit shaky. And now, Aegor, you have a skeleton in close combat range with you.
Does he fall prone, or has he managed to stay upright?
No, he's managed to stay upright, but that's what caused his ankle to suffer some damage.
Oh, sorry, it's me.
And it's your turn.
Okay. Okay. Well, I had to give this impotent skeleton a damn good thrashing with my staff. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Swing away. You've already seen that bludgeoning damage.
If all else fails, beat it with a stick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, my man normally does these things.
Did you just get a plus? Is a staff a dexterity weapon? Maybe I missed that.
I just clicked holding with it.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that's great. 8 points of damage, and would you like to describe how your staff finishes off this unfortunate skeleton?
I just bash it across the head the way I would do a incompetent student, and it just falls off, unfortunately.
Awesome.
It doesn't normally happen. Only gave him a tap.
Lose more students that way.
These snowflakes, these skeletons these days.
Not like they used to be.
See, back when I was a student.
Justin. Just the one skeleton left, but they're not ones to back off skeletons.
It's going to be Ray of Frost again.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
That will do.
Nice work. And so with critical hit, we double the damage dice. Great work. Now, Damien, this skeleton has suffered some damage already, and is looking a bit brittle. Surely this time your sword can do some.
Where is it?
It's right in front of you.
Right in front of me. I don't even see it on the map.
Oh goodness! So you're on.
Oh, okay. It was
Let me
hiding
try and
behind
bring
this post.
As we're.
Oh. I'm gonna swing my sword at it.
Okay, yeah, great idea.
Come on, let me hit something.
So that's a 13. Yeah, so that's a hit. You just hit.
Now let me roll damage.
Fantastic. And with the last stroke, you deal with the very final skeleton, and it collapses in front of you. The magical energies that were controlling his body have been dissipated, leaving the tavern to be remarkably free of well, anybody at all, really. So, is there anything that you'd like to do now that you find yourselves in an uninhabited tavern?
Yeah, Richard, I've just dropped out of ARealm.
Yeah.
Can I? Yeah, can I have the code again?
Yes, of course. It is Zulu Bravo Charlie X-ray.
Come on, computer. Zulu Charlie Bravo X-ray. Room not found.
You got Charlie Bravo the wrong way
Charlie
round.
Bravo, yeah.
Sorry, go again.
So it's ZBCX. I'll put in the chat if that's any help.
We're back in. We're back in.
Nice.
I was just double checking on quarterstaff as well, Richard. It looks, it's just only labelled as versatile, so I'm guessing it should have been strength based. But ARealm's got it coded for dex from the look of things.
Yeah, I was just expecting that very much to be more of a.
Yeah, so with my strength, so with proficiency in my strength, it should have been +1 instead of +4.
Yeah, but never mind.
But it worked out. There's no more skeleton anymore.
No more skeleton is the
favoured enemy.
Yeah, exactly. So here we are in a back in the tavern. It's completely deserted. For any of you, is this a dream come true? What would you like to do now the combat is over? There is broken glass on this first floor, but otherwise there are no occupants here.
Well, have a look around, I think, see if I can work out where these skeletons came from.
Okay, can you give me an investigation check, please?
Also, see if there's any better drinks around as well. It's not any open wine, is there? That ale wasn't very good.
Can I assist with the investigation?
Yeah, make an investigation roll with advantage.
Investigation. So there's the first one. 14, and the second one.
Okay, so you get the idea that these particular skeletons have definitely come in through the windows. You remember hearing a breaking of glass, and the glass is definitely on the inside of the inn, suggesting it's been broken from the outside inwards. But none of you, well, some of you are quite familiar with the weapons that were used by the guards in Fort Soldier, and some of these weapons seem quite familiar to you. It seems like they're the swords that were issued to the guards and the militia who actually fought in defence of Port Soldier.
Well, we've either killed the guards or the skeletons did.
So these skeletons are the guards.
Are we dealing with the necromancer?
Oh, it could be, I suppose. Bloody nuisance they are as well.
Yes. What a pain necromancers can be. Well, is there anything else you'd like to do in the tavern while you're here?
Can we see any reason why they might?
Sorry, Damien, were you saying something there?
I think I'd like to look around, see if the skeletons might have anything of any value on them.
So they don't seem to have anything of any particular value at all. They're in fact, can you give me a medicine check? Now, one of the things you can do a medicine check. Yeah, one of the things you can do is on your stats, it should on skills. You should be able to click on the skill itself, and it will automatically do a check. You can try this out now if you want to. If you right-click on it, it should give you the option of rolling with advantage or disadvantage, if that makes sense. But in this case, if you just give me a medicine check.
that lot of good that did.
Yeah. Okay. So these these skeletons. All you can really tell about them is that they seem to have been stripped clean, potentially by some small gnawing creatures, fish perhaps, that have stripped these skeleton bones clean. That's the best you can tell from that medicine check, from that investigation of the skeletons. But you're on the first floor, and you're actually in with the sort of private rooms that are rented out from this tavern.
I'd like to have a look around, just see if there's any reason why the skeletons decided to attack here, other than just maybe there were people and they decided to come in and attack. They're after something, or there's some more sort of discernible motivation.
Now, having searched all of the first floor now quite carefully, there is nothing to suggest that would bring the skeletons here, and that's after rifling through a few books on bookshelves that are here as well. There's nothing out of the ordinary that you're able to discern in this tavern. There are a few gold pieces that have been left behind in the rush.
Well, see, I told you, skeletons, bloody nuisance. Necromancers, skeletons.
With 3 wizards in the party, gold pieces are always valuable.
Sure. Oh, sleight of hand. Gold, I'm not too bothered about that.
I don't even see an option for currency in the toolbar anywhere. Where would the currency?
Say 10.
Oh, there's no actual gold piece bit. That's a good thing to note. Yeah, there ought to be somewhere to keep a track of your treasure, shouldn't there? If anybody finds that during
honestly, it should be. I would think it should be on the stats page, honestly, because that's the one that's laid out mostly like a character sheet.
Yes, yeah. So that's probably
They should
where
add
it should be. Okay. But now we seem to have exhausted the tavern itself. Where would you like to head to next?
Oh, most definitely Spice Street.
Okay. Well, let's leave this tavern then and head on down to Spice Street, where it appears that it's been rather badly damaged in the past, but it's oh goodness, that's a bit of a change. That'll do. And we find ourselves not where I thought we were. Oh, okay, we'll stay here. That's okay. It's also that this particular place seems to be a little bit noisier than the previous one. If you want to change your volume, go to the camera and you can turn down the music slightly. But in this particular area, it seems that that quite a few of the buildings have been knocked down. But this particular one, 8 Spy Street, it's quite well kept on the inside. Although it seems badly damaged on the outside, on the inside it's extremely well kept. From behind the counter appears a young girl. You guess that she's about 10 or 11 years old. She has dark hair and elfin features, though. Although she is not an elf, you're quite sure of this. She looks up at you with dark and slightly worrying, piercing eyes, and how may I help you?
Good afternoon. You may be of help to me. Might you be Alice?
I am Alice.
Alice, hello. My name is Jeston. We have a mutual acquaintance, the Professor. And the Professor sends her regards.
Oh, the Professor. I believe she can be very kind.
Indeed, the Professor can be very kind, and and very helpful. The professor sends her regards and says that you may be of assistance to me.
Oh, in what way can I help? Wait, I see. I see, she says. It is about this. And she brings forth a baseball-sized orb from within a bag that she has on a badge, and you can see it's glowing with some kind of green iridescent light as she places it on the counter, and it actually seems to be pulsing slightly. I'd like everyone to make me an Arcana check, please. And if Damien gets higher than the rest of you, you should be very embarrassed.
Right. So can we do that? Can we do that from ARealm skills?
You should be able to.
That would be hilarious.
Skills. Arcana. There it is. There. Click. There we go. Oh dear.
Yes, oh dear indeed.
Oh dear indeed. That's gone very wrong.
It's actually Aglor. It is you who recognises this as a spell-casting focus of some kind. I see, Jeston, though, that you are interested in the provenance of this, as to where it has come from. Well,
indeed, I am.
it has to be said that I was slightly concerned as I expressed a desire to make the people of Port Soldier happy, and there came forth a gentleman of curious demeanour. He has very dark robes, a dark slicked back hair, and a goatee beard as well. Black, of course. He smelt of cinnamon and cloves, and spoke with a very smooth voice, and explained that if I was to give him what it is that makes me to him, then he would be able to make my wishes come true.
So what is it that makes you, Alice?
I think it's jelly. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Anyway, in exchange for jelly, I received this. He said it came from an orc shaman, a mighty orc shaman who once battled here a long time ago, possibly as much as 3 months ago, and in the battle, which he was defeated, before he died, he cast a curse upon the fallen soldiers, and said that they would never find rest.
I see. I think we may have had some experience of that. So this green orb, do you wish to keep it, Alice, or might we be able to take it away from you?
Oh no, please feel free to take it. I have made my wish, and it has not come true. I wish that. Well, can I let you into a secret? I think the reason that everybody in Port Soldier is so unhappy is because a lot of their loved ones died during the invasion, and so all I had to do was to place my hands on this orb and wish that they'd come back. But it hasn't happened, so I think it's a broken one. Please, take it.
Alice, thank you, and it may or may not be broken, but what you've done and your sentiment was a very lovely thing.
Oh, thank you. I'm actually thinking about starting a tavern.
Are you? And whereabouts do you think you're going to start this tavern?
Oh, I think somewhere where people are a bit happier. I've heard of a great city called Five Ways. I might try out there.
Okay, and have you a name for this tavern?
Not yet, but I'll think of one. But have you got a suggestion?
I don't, but you need to look at the local area, tap into the local vibe, and choose something that people can buy into.
Oh, okay. I take your words and I will ponder on them.
Give the public what they want.
I will try and do that. I think that is the strategy. It seems that here there is a lot of sadness.
Well, I think that's understandable after an orc invasion.
Yes.
They're not known for spreading joy and happiness. For example, how many travelling troops of orc troubadours do you know? None.
Very few. Although there is meant to be a circus coming to town soon.
Well, that would be fun.
Yes, exactly.
How many orcs in it though?
Oh, I don't know. I think there might be dinosaurs though. I hear.
Oh, right. I'm going to have a word with the party. We may stick around for that.
I'd recommend it.
Chaps, travelling show,
Circus,
dinosaurs, circus.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Okay, so having left number 8 Spice Street with your green glowing orb, you find yourselves heading back towards the town centre and towards the harbour where there should be a ship waiting for you. But as it is, it appears that something has got here first, and floating above the ship is in fact something quite horrendous. Now let me see if we can actually portray what has manifested itself upon the ship. And we'll apply it to everybody. Awesome. So that worked out.
Oh, great! Another ship. Now I can get seasick.
Yes, but it's just in harbour, so not too bad. But at the far end, now this is slightly concerning. Oh, good, you've got to go for a little walk. You see that
Run away.
Tactical withdrawal. Ooh, too far. Is a creature like that.
There's my character.
Let's see how that's worked out. So yeah, it's a. So finally, I'd like
Oh,
to.
lovely! Another portal.
Yeah, well, another portal. It looks extremely similar to the portal that you saw previously. In fact, somebody does a quick scouting mission there. Yeah, it appears very much that there is a portal behind this skeletal creature. But you also recognise there, Damien, that upon this creature's left hand is a ring. And I'd like everybody to roll for initiative.
Another ring. Rolling for initiative.
Now,
Oh, come on. It looked like I was going to get that nat 20 there for a second.
it just tipped over at the last second. Oh,
I'm just not having any luck with the dice rolls today.
so Justin, you're the only Chris. I haven't got an initiative roll for you. Are you able to pick that up from the your stats, and you're muted as well? Okay, are you able to roll it actually using your initiative stat, Chris? Just by, I think it's the second one along. You know, the one with the heart.
Oh yes, right.
And the only reason for doing that is because, and you'll see this if you ever run your own campaign using it, is that it automatically drops you into an initiative order for the Dungeon Master, so I can see who's where, and I can see your hit points and armor class and all sorts of useful things like that. And what we've got is Aglor has actually got a first action. So complete reversal of before. Aglor, what would you like to do?
How far away am
Let
I
me
from
guess.
the?
So we're looking at a distance of just over 60 feet.
Just over 60 feet. Still a fireball. Oh, firebolt. So would be nice to
fireball?
would be nice to fireball at
Where did
level
you pick
1.
that up?
Fireball. Well, that's a little thing I learnt.
Hey, little thing you managed to pick up.
There's a spare scroll lying around in the pub.
If you needed to close range, of course, you can move before casting a spell, but
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter anyway.
But whatever this creature is quite happily avoiding that firebolt.
I'll go and hide behind the wheel.
Well, this creature sees no need to do that sort of thing, and indeed you see that 3 glowing points of light appear. Now these are dark red in colour and lash out, and there is actually one aimed at each of the wizards. Oh, fantastic! And so it is the Aelor, you take 2 damage. Tethrin, you take 1, and Jestin, you also take 1. But Tethrin, it's now your turn.
I only rolled a 7 for initiative. I don't think it's my turn.
It is, would you believe?
Oh, wow.
I know.
Okay, then. I'll move forwards 30 feet.
Absolutely. So that gets you pretty much by the main mast.
So, could you move me? Because I'm not
Yes,
too
I'm
sure.
doing
Thank
that
you.
right now. Okay.
How far away am I from the thing in front of the portal?
So you are now 35 feet away.
35. I'll just do firebolts again then.
Okay. "13 just hits." Awesome. 10 points damage. Very solid hit with your firebolt. And Damien, it's your turn.
Alright. How far am I?
So I think you're going to be about 60 feet. Yeah, 60 feet away.
Can you show me about 30 feet?
Yeah, sure. So that would put you pretty
From
much
where I'm
up
at.
by tethering. If I move you up there, just so you can see what that looks like for you.
Alright, I think I'm going to stand there and I'm going to fire an arrow.
Yeah, sure. That's a hit. Very solid hit.
Alrighty.
Seven points of damage. And this magic wielding skeleton is looking in extremely bad shape. And we move to Justin. Justin, can you give me an Arcana check, please, before you do anything?
I can. Right. So if I go to, is that stats or skills?
Yes, try skills.
Skills. Arcana.
And you can try and roll it with advantage if you. Yeah, okay, just do it twice. Probably the easiest way. Oh no, that's going to be fine anyway. 22's awesome. So you get the idea that potentially if you're able to place the spellcasting focus through the portal, you might actually be able to banish any residual skeletons that have been brought through it.
You broke a little there, Richard. So sorry.
Yeah.
So the spellcasting focus. So the orc shaman orb that I picked up.
Yes, if you were able to put that through the portal, you get the impression that that would potentially banish any of the undead creatures that had been brought through from that other plane of existence.
Okay. Okay. Mage armor you can cast on yourself, can't you?
Yes, you can.
So I'm going to rummage into my pocket for my my piece of cured leather.
Yeah.
And use my action to cast mage armor on myself.
Awesome.
And then after I've cast that, can I move 30 feet?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Yeah. So
can you just remind me? Mage armor adds an extra 2 armor class, isn't it?
13 plus dex.
Yeah, 13. Sorry, yes, that's it.
Yeah, so I move however sort of far that is. That's probably somewhere up there.
Okay. And the top of the round is Agalor.
So, with a fireballs, I think.
Okay.
Seems to be not looking too good now. So,
no, it's not.
So you can actually hit this time. Ah, that'll do.
Apparently, yes. 26, definitely.
Now this is how you do it, chaps. Seven and 17. Bang, and the necromancer's gone.
Exactly. Yes. It's, this creature just crumples in on itself, leaving a black cloak and its skeletal form on the foredeck.
I'll move down. Okay. We still initiative? Or?
No, you can move out of initiative now and just let me know what you'd like to do. But I wish there was an easy way of doing this, but I'll feed that back to ARealm because I want to move to this background. There we go. So you find yourself on deck with the portal continuing to emanate out of from this ring that is on the finger of this necromancer.
So, well, I don't particularly fancy touching this thing. I'll get my servant to do it. I'll cast Unseen Servant.
Yeah. So
you, servant fellow, can you see that ring? Just throw it in that portal over there, will you, good fellow?
Okay. Justin, is there anything you want to do before as the unseen servant is taking the ring off the corpse of the necromancer?
So I have the orb. How far is Justin from the portal?
Oh, you can go right up to it now if you want to.
Right, let's cast the orb through the portal then.
So the orb is thrown through the portal just as the unseen servant takes the ring off the necromancer, and you feel a strange surge of energy around you, and the skeletons that were underneath the ship and that had been trying to make their way onto land, their spirits rise up and from the depths and form a whirling cloud above you. They start to spin, and as they ascend, they form an aurora borealis, very similar to the northern lights display above you, before finally dissipating. The body of the necromancer itself has also joined this group. But the unseen servant has taken the ring and sends that also through the portal, causing the entire green structure to collapse in upon itself and sealing the dimensional door between the plane of the dead and this world.